Thanks and welcome to this month's You Don't Know What You Don't Know. And we are going to jump right in. So what I was going to tell you, I was at the grocery store and I was standing at the seafood counter and I wanted some scallops. But I like scallops, you guys, and they're so yummy. So I'm standing at the seafood counter and there's a woman standing next to me and we're both decide to get some scallops, right? And in the case, if you've ever seen raw scallops, they're like, they're like this and they're typically white. But in the case, there's some like peachy colored ones, slightly orange colored ones. And I was thinking, well, that's kind of weird. I bet you those are bad, right? They're spoiling, they're turning. And why have they not pulled those out? Why would they let them stay in there? I definitely don't want those. So I would tell the people when they were getting the scallops, I only want the white ones. I only want the white ones. And for you that are saying that's racist, I'm not racist. I just wanted the white ones because I thought the other ones were bad. I thought that they had spoiled. And so the woman next to me had said to the person getting them, why are there orange ones? And I was like, so I waited and the woman, the person behind the counter says, those scallops, the ones that are discolored, are females. I was like, females? I didn't know there were female and male scallops. Did you know there were male and female scallops? Then she goes on to say that the female scallops are known to be slightly sweeter. Of course, females are slightly sweeter than the male counterparts. So this woman that was standing next to me and I decide to get at least one of the slightly orange peach colored scallops. So I go home and I make the scallops. I don't know, it was a slightly different flavor, but not something that was really obvious, right? And here the whole time I was avoiding them instead of asking for them because they were, female and they were almost like a delicacy, it's slightly sweeter than their counterparts. So next time you go, have you ever gone to a restaurant and had a scallop that didn't look white? I have not, and that's why I thought that they had gone bad. But evidently, that is not true. So if you do get a scallop that is slightly orange, like a peachy color, then know that you got a female and consider yourself lucky, because I guess that there are less of those that are caught or something, because I don't see them very often. And that's not a fact. That's an observation. That's not a fact. I don't know that there are less female than male scallops. I don't know that they're caught less frequently. Just an observation that in the case there are many times much fewer of them. But yeah, I didn't know that there were male and female scallops. How crazy is that? So that's the first You Don't Know What You Don't Know. I also wanted to share with you a couple of things because sometimes I think that because I know them, everybody knows them. And in reality, there was a time that I didn't, and someone had to tell me about it. So I wanted to share with you a couple of things around seafood. Because I know that there's a really big debate on wild-caught fish versus farm-raised fish. You see it a lot in like salmon these days. You get the option of wild or farm raised. So I will tell you that I personally only do, yes, Cheryl, I only prefer wild caught. And I was under the understanding that they are better for us than the farm raised. And so instead of just spewing stuff to you, I went ahead and looked it up on the internet and did some research. And it was very interesting what I found. And so I wanted to share some of it with you, and I don't want to get it wrong. So farm-raised fish may have as much as 20% less protein compared to wild fish. 20% less protein. And that, they say, is due to the fact that wild fish swim. They spend a lot of time swimming in the ocean, and so therefore they're leaner, and so there's more protein. There's another you don't know what you don't know. Because I know a lot of people just say it's because because of the food that they're fed, that the wild caught are better, but they're actually leaner and more protein in the wild caught than in the farm raised. And also it said that PCBs, which are cancer-causing chemicals, may exist in farm-raised salmon at a concentration 16 times higher than wild salmon. And the level of dioxin is also higher by a factor of 11-fold. So they've got a lot more PCBs, which are cancer-causing, than the wild caught. I also found that fish in the wild have lower saturated fat, and it's bad for our bodies to have high amounts of saturated fat, and so that is another thing to consider when you're looking at wild fish versus farm raised. A lot of people, for a long time, this was my go-to fish, you guys. This was an absolute, I used a ton of this years ago. And then my sister-in-law says, I won't eat that anymore. And I said, what? Why? Again, you don't know what you don't know. And it was a fish that is very inexpensive, white flaky fish that you see a lot out in restaurants as well as in the grocery store. And that is tilapia. Tilapia. How many people eat tilapia? Tilapia was a wild caught fish off the coast of Africa and the Middle East for a very long time. But they've stopped really harvesting tilapia in the wild, and instead they are farm raised, like 99% farm raised. That's a number I'm saying. They are mostly farm raised tilapia. And the reason why farm raised tilapia is not good is because the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3s is way high, which is not good for our bodies. You want to have fewer omega-6s than omega-3s, and so that ratio is really high, and you don't want it. It's out of whack, and that's not good for our bodies. So besides the fact that it is farm raised, is also the ratio of omega-3 to 6s. So there's some information on farm versus wild caught fish for those of you who are looking to do one or the other, or why. Instead of just blindly doing things, sometimes I just trust the people that tell me. I invite you to, explore it for yourself, do some research, and find out why so many people are proclaiming that wild caught fish is better than the farm raised. And the next time you get an opportunity to try some different colored scallops, I invite you to try those as well. All right, let's see if there's any other comments. Ooh, there were quite a few. Cheryl, I've heard of places are good at farm raised. Yeah, I think that the big thing is if they're going to be farm raised, a lot of times you don't know what they're feeding them. And unfortunately, what surfaced many years ago is the stuff that they're feeding those farm raised fish you wouldn't want to eat. So that is it for me. I hope that I have shared something with you that you didn't know, that when you do know, your life is now so much better. And please let me know if that is the case by leaving a comment below, liking this video, and sharing it with someone that may need to know about scallops and the fact that there are actually female and male scallops and that they're a different color and taste just a little bit differently. So share some of this with them. All right, have a sensational Sunday, you guys. We'll see you next time.